She grew up without knowing her true origins, but a simple detail, a necklace forgotten by time, was about to change her life forever. What did fate have in store for Anna? You won't believe what happened next. Anna took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment on her shoulders. With her worn-out suitcase hanging from her arm and her heart pounding, she took one last look at the orphanage that had sheltered her since she was a little girl. Every brick of that building held memories of happy days, but also of difficult and lonely moments. Now, at 19 years old, it was time to leave. The future was uncertain, but an unexpected opportunity gave her hope. A job as a maid at the mansion of Raúl Jiménez, one of the city's most influential businessmen. The promise of a fresh start was as terrifying as it was exciting. The journey to the mansion was silent. The driver, a man of few words, only cast discreet glances at Anna through the rearview mirror. Along the way, as she watched the landscapes pass by the car window, flashes of her childhood came to mind. Faint memories of a soft voice singing to her before bed, a delicate perfume that seemed to come from a forgotten past. Whenever she tried to delve deeper into these memories, she felt as if something was blocking her, like a veil hiding the truth. Upon arriving at the imposing mansion, Anna was greeted by Ernesto, the family's butler for over 3 decades. His stern gaze and rigid posture were the first challenges of Anna's new life. Trying to remain calm, she listened attentively to his instructions as they walked through the mansion's long corridors, each detail revealing a reality completely different from what she was used to. "I hope you understand the seriousness of this job," Ernesto said, not hiding his distrust. "The Jiménez family is demanding and does not tolerate mistakes." Anna simply nodded, standing firm. "I understand, Mr. Ernesto. I will do my best." The first few days felt like an endurance test. Ernesto let no mistake go unnoticed. A poorly folded handkerchief, a glass out of place, any slip was a reason for his disapproval. But Anna refused to give in. Behind the butler's strict demeanor, she sensed something more, a secret hidden in his reserved expression. The intense routine was a distraction, but something about the mansion made her feel constantly uneasy. The place was too quiet at night. Doors creaked without any apparent reason. Sometimes, while cleaning the hallways, she felt a sudden chill run down her spine, as if she were being watched. Whenever she turned around, no one was there. Anna's heart raced, but she tried to ignore it, convincing herself it was just exhaustion. One day, while fixing the sheets in the guest room, Anna found a small locket lying between the cushions. It was delicate, made of aged gold, and inside it was a photograph worn by time. Her heart pounded when she realized the image showed a baby wearing a necklace very similar to hers. That couldn't be a coincidence. That night, Anna couldn't sleep. The locket was now hidden under her pillow, and her mind wouldn't stop searching for answers. She decided she needed to find out more about the mansion and its residents. The next day, she began to observe every detail around her, trying to catch conversations, searching for any clue that could explain why that locket was there. Then, one afternoon, while cleaning Mr. Raúl's office, she heard whispers coming from the hallway. Ernesto was talking to one of the cooks, his tone low but filled with urgency. Anna quietly approached, trying to hear better. She must not find out anything. If she asks, deny everything. Raúl must never know, Ernesto murmured. A chill ran through Anna's body. Were they talking about her? What didn't they want her to know? Her instincts screamed that something much bigger was happening in that house, something beyond just a simple job. That night, she decided she could no longer ignore her intuition. She needed to find more answers. But where to start? Her heart told her that Ernesto knew much more than he let on. What was he hiding? And what did it mean for her? Anna had no idea that her arrival at that mansion was only the beginning of a great mystery that would change her life forever. Anna couldn't ignore the feeling that something was wrong. Ernesto's words echoed in her mind. She must not find out anything. Raúl must never know. What were they hiding? Why did her presence in the mansion seem to bother the butler so much? That night, Anna decided to investigate. She needed to uncover the truth. Around midnight, when the mansion was swallowed by silence, she slipped out of her room and began exploring the dark hallways. The shadows of the curtains danced in the wind, and the distant sound of the clock marking the hours echoed through the corridors. Her heart pounded, but her determination was stronger than her fear. As she passed by Raúl's office, she noticed that the door was slightly open. This was her chance. She entered silently and began rummaging through drawers and files. Her eyes scanned the yellowed pages of old documents until she found a dossier with the name Valentina Castillo Jiménez. Anna's blood ran cold. Who was this woman? And why did she share Raúl's last name? Before she could continue her search, a noise in the hallway made her freeze. Someone was coming. Quickly, she blew out the candle, illuminating her trembling hands, and hid behind a bookshelf. The door creaked open slowly, and Ernesto entered with a flashlight. His eyes scanned the room, as if he knew someone had been there. "If someone is here, you'd better come out now," he murmured, his voice filled with suspicion. Anna held her breath, remaining completely still. Ernesto walked over to the desk, picked up a few papers, and left, locking the door behind him. Only when she was sure he was gone did Anna emerge from her hiding spot. She needed to get out before she was caught. The next day, tension in the mansion was palpable. Ernesto watched Anna more closely, as if trying to figure out if she had discovered something. Raúl, on the other hand, seemed oblivious to everything, completely immersed in his business affairs. Determined to dig deeper, Anna started talking to the other employees, trying to gather information about the family's past. The housekeeper, Donna Marta, was the first to give her a clue: Valentina. She was someone Raúl cared about deeply, but one day she just vanished. We never heard from her again. A chill ran down Anna's spine. Could the missing woman be connected to the mystery of her origins? Her heart told her yes. In another attempt to find answers, Anna returned to the library and began flipping through old newspapers. That's when she found something shocking. An article about Valentina's disappearance. The photograph accompanying the text was disturbingly familiar. The woman in the picture had facial features eerily similar to Anna's. The pieces started to fit together in her mind. What if Valentina was her mother? If that were true, why had they hidden it from her? Who wanted to keep the truth buried? That night, Anna had a strange dream. In the dream, a woman held her hand and whispered, "Don't stop searching. The truth is closer than you think." She woke up abruptly, drenched in sweat. Her intuition screamed that she was about to uncover something big, but also dangerous. Fear grew inside her, but Anna was resolute. The truth could no longer remain hidden. However, someone in the mansion would do anything to ensure the secret stayed buried forever. The silence of the night enveloped the mansion, but inside Anna's heart, a storm was raging. The revelation of the name Valentina Castillo Jimenez and the newspaper article she had found made it clear. A terrible secret was buried in that place. But what exactly had happened to Valentina, and what was her connection to Anna? The next day, Anna decided she couldn't wait any longer. She gathered her courage and went to Raúl. The man was in his office, absorbed in paperwork. But when Anna walked in, he looked up and frowned. "Anna, what's wrong? You look troubled." She took a deep breath. "Mr. Jimenez, I need to know who Valentina Castillo Jimenez was." Raúl froze for a moment. His face paled and his gaze faltered. It was as if that question had struck him like a blow. "Where did you hear that name?" he asked, his voice tenser than usual. Anna hesitated. She couldn't reveal everything. "I heard some of the staff talking, and I saw an old newspaper." "Did you know her?" Raúl turned his gaze to the window. For a few seconds he seemed lost in thought. Then he sighed heavily. "Valentina was my sister. She disappeared many years ago, and to this day, we don't know what really happened to her." Anna's heart pounded, her mind filled with questions. If Valentina was Raúl's sister, could she be her mother? Before she could ask more, Ernesto appeared at the door, interrupting the conversation. His gaze was cold, calculating. "Mr. Jimenez, we need to talk. In private." Raúl nodded, still visibly shaken. "Anna, we'll talk later. Please, go back to work." But Anna knew something was being hidden. She decided she would have to find out the truth on her own. Anna knew she wouldn't be able to sleep. Something inside her told her that the answer was in the mansion. So, in the dead of night, she left her room and began searching Raúl's office once again. This time, she focused on an old safe hidden behind a bookshelf. With trembling hands, she tried several combinations until, by instinct, she entered the date of Valentina's disappearance. The safe clicked open. Inside, she found documents, letters, and a DNA test. As she opened the envelope, her hands shook, and then the truth hit her like lightning. Her name was there, Ana Castillo Jimenez. She was Valentina's daughter. Tears filled her eyes. Everything made sense now. The reason she had always felt like she didn't belong anywhere, the necklace she had always carried. It was the only memory of her mother, who had probably tried to protect her until the very end. But then a sound behind her made her blood run cold. Ernesto was standing at the door. "I knew you would find out eventually," he said, his voice icy. "But you went too far." Anna took a step back. "You knew all along. Did you separate my mother from me? What happened to Valentina?" Ernesto let out a bitter laugh. "She was never supposed to come back to this house. Your mother tried to reclaim what was rightfully hers, but there were people who wouldn't allow that. I was just following orders." Anna's heart pounded. "What did you do to her? Where is my mother?" Before Ernesto could answer, a firm voice echoed through the room. "That's enough, Ernesto." Raúl appeared at the door, his expression filled with a fury Anna had never seen before. "I trusted you all these years, and you destroyed my family," Raúl said, his voice heavy with emotion. Ernesto tried to argue, but Raúl gestured to the mansion's security guards, who quickly entered and restrained the butler. "You will pay for what you've done," Raúl declared. Still in shock, Anna felt Raúl gently take her hand. "You are my niece, Anna. You have always belonged to this family, and now I will do everything I can to make things right." Tears streamed down Anna's face. After so many years, she finally knew who she was. Finally, she had a family. In the following days, Ernesto was handed over to the police. Investigations began to uncover everything that had happened in the past, and Anna, still processing everything, felt a sense of peace she had never known before. Now, she knew her origins. She knew her mother had fought for her, and she knew Raúl was there to help her rebuild her life. One morning, Raúl took her to an old chest stored in the attic. Inside, she found letters and belongings of Valentina. As she held them, she felt her mother's presence, as if, in some way, Valentina was still there, guiding her. The past had been dark, but the future was in her hands. Anna was ready to write her own story. Life can separate us from our roots, make us forget where we come from, but the truth always finds its way. Anna grew up not knowing her story, unaware that her mother's love had always been with her. In the end, fate brought her back to her true home, because what is meant for us will always find us. No matter how much time passes, the truth always resurfaces, and true love never fades.